Man, I tell you what, you could not ask for a better day to be on the range than today. Sun is shining, 75 degrees, wind's blowing just enough to keep her cool outside, but I can honestly say that fall is on the way. I felt it this morning when I was outside on the porch drinking my coffee. I got that fall smell in the air first thing this morning, and I actually don't know what that is. I should probably know what that is. Autumn is my favorite time of year because not only are the holidays right around the corner, but hunting season is running up on us really quick. I'm a bow hunter and I really enjoy being out in the elements, being in that tree stand, that kind of meditative back to nature environment, while also simultaneously doing that alpha, top predator type thing. So now September though is kind of my preparatory month. I'm out there, checking tree stands, watching game animals, things like that, and of course re-upping equipment. So last night I was on the Sportsmans Guy doing exactly that, filling in some gaps, re-upping some supplies that I've fallen short on, and I was happy to be in America where I could just log on the internet and one-stop shop it, have it delivered directly to my door. I've been a member of the Buyers Club on Sportsman's Guide since I was like 18 years old. Heck, when I was a kid, we used to get the magazines. In fact, my dad probably still does get the magazines from Sportsman's Guide in the mail. But I mean, it's really nice to be able to just go and get everything you need, whether it's blaze orange clothing, a noise maker, or even some cover scent or something like that. So in my internet travelings, I ended up getting a hold of the Sportsman's Guide, and this one's really cool for me because, I've been using them for such a long period of time. They're offering VSO viewers a discount. It'll be $20 off of a $100 order. The only stipulation, doesn't work on ammo though, but if you guys are re-upping your equipment or just doing general shopping, go ahead and hop over to Sportsman's Guide. Code is VSO Media. You hear that? Somebody's trying to talk to me. Shooting off in the distance. Moving on to the actual topic of today's video. I feel compelled to talk back. Gun needed emptied for this video anyway. Why I do not +1 my guns. Now I'm going to start off by saying that this is a personal choice. I happen to believe that it's an incorrect choice, and I'm going to try to make a good case for that in today's video, but it's still your choice to make. One more thing I wanted to point out is that there are a bunch of different reasons that I do not use this technique. But if you put all those reasons through analysis, if I'm honest, then some of them come out fairly nitpicky. So we're just going to stick to the two main ones that resonate with me, and that'll prevent this from turning into a half-hour dissertation. So I made a meme on this topic and I put it out on social, and the world lost their minds, which was kind of expected and hopeful on my part because I was judging engagement on the topic before I made a video about it. And all I can say is we are full steam ahead, green light go, 2 thumbs up. But before we do that, I think it's important that we actually define what I mean by +1ing your gun, because it seemed to me from reading the comments that there was a misconception on what I was saying. People were insinuating that I advocate for the carrying of a gun on an empty chamber, and that is by no means the case. So to lay out what +1ing your gun is, I've got a Blacklist Industries Glock 19 here for demonstration purposes. This gun is empty, as you guys saw earlier. We have an empty magazine here. Now, +1ing your gun, we pretend that this thing is a full magazine. We insert it into the gun, we work the slide, it strips a round off the magazine, puts it in the chamber. We then eject the magazine and top the magazine off, put it right back in the gun, put the gun in the holster. In my experience, I see this most prevalently in people that choose to carry a capacity compromised firearm out the gate, something that's got like 7-8 rounds in it. And I think the psychology there is that they feel limited because the gun doesn't hold very many bullets, that they got to pack as many bullets in it as they possibly can to make sure that they're not without ammo or something like that. If you show up with something like this, then this has already got twice as many bullets as a 1911. without the need of an extra magazine. The first and chief reason why I do not +1 my gun is because it interrupts the stream of communication between me and my firearm. And what I mean by that is, if you think about the loading sequence of the gun, you take the magazine, you orient the gun so the ejection port is toward gravity, you stick the magazine in firmly, you work the slide, and it comes forward, strips a round off, puts it in the chamber. What I've confirmed is a bunch of different things, but the one that's pertinent to this is that this magazine and this firearm are currently working well together. It's a pretty good chance, 99.999% that if I chose quality manufactured ammunition, that it's going to go bang, and not only is it going to go bang, but it will cycle, put another one in, and go bang again. If at any point you separate these two, you break that validated bond between magazine and firearm. Think of it as performing a test. Every single time you insert that magazine into the gun, you perform a test. Is it going to put a round in? Well, you've separated these two, you've fiddled with this magazine and you put it back into the gun. You have no idea whether it's going to take a round off that top of that magazine, put it in that thing before you take this thing out and potentially have to use this in a life or death situation. You've now fiddled with it and you have no assurances whatsoever. Usually what we're talking about here is some kind of user-induced malfunction, and the one that I really like to point to because I think it illustrates this point perfectly is the drop full magazine. So a guy takes the magazine out, tops it off, puts it back in the firearm, goes up to the shooting line, and gets up there, gets a bang, followed by a click. Magazine fell out. Now this can happen for a variety of reasons, including carelessness, but the other main cause of this phenomenon is that properly capacity magazines can have a relatively high stack pressure. And that pressure must be overcome when inserting a magazine, especially on a closed slide. And what that results in is, a lot of the times, if you watch this magazine, go in, watch the magazine release, you can see it physically move. And what's happening is the converse of that groove right there has to go, they have to fit together. And when anything is pressurized, especially when you've got right angles being pressurized, they can hang up a little bit. So what ends up happening is, when this magazine is full, you end up inserting it, you have to crush it against that slide, press that round down to get it to go into that groove. And a lot of times it can just kind of hang out there in limbo until the stack pressure is relieved, when the slide reciprocates after firing it, and then that pressure pushes the magazine out of the well. Reason number two that I never +1 my gun is the brain is always on record. Muscle memory is a real thing, and if I choose to load this firearm the same way every single time I manipulate it, then that's one more rep that I have for my real world emergency reload and one more rep for my real world malfunction clearance. You can't beat it. I don't think anybody wants to form a training scar that looks like this. All right, guys, time for bonus round. You can fix all of the concerns that would cause you to +1 your firearm by simply carrying a spare one of these. And you can address so many other issues that we didn't cover in today's video.